Hi, very good morning to one and all, and I welcome all the listeners of this session. I think we had started discussing about control statements from the. I think we had discussed about control statements in only one class. So we had completed if statement, if else statement, and then we had seen the nested if and if else if. I think we had completed all these four things, and in today's session we are going to concentrate on looping statements, right? So in in Python, there are only two looping statements, that is while loop and for loop. So in Python, we don't have any do while loop, right? So I think we had completed all these things. We had completed how the if condition will be and how we can represent if in Python. And at the same time, we had completed if else, and then we had seen about if else if, and then we had seen about nested if statements, right? So right, these are the flow control statements where we had started the topic. We had completed all these four things. Now we are going to look at these iterative statements. So after completing the iterative statement, we can see these transfer statements. So under iterative statements, we had only two statements. They are for and while. So what is the need of iterative statements in programming languages? And there is some other name for these iterative statements. We can call them as looping statements also. Looping statements. For example, in a program, I had a 5 lines of code. I had 5 lines of code, and I want to execute the line number 3 for 10 times. So what I have to do? There are two options. One thing is that I had to write this line for 10 times. I have to write the line and I have to copy the same line for 10 times. And the second one is that I will keep the line in a block, right? I will keep the line in a block, and I will go for iterative or looping statements for this block. See, when you are dealing with C programming language, right? When you are dealing with C programming language, if you want to iterate something, iteration means executing the same part of code again and again, depending upon the need of the programmer or need of the user. So I will show you how the while loop was in C programming language, how the while loop was in Java programming language, and how the while loop will be in Python programming language, right? So for this, I'm going to take an online C compiler. Parallelly, I'm going to take an online Python compiler. And online Java compiler, right? So I'm going to explain how while loop will be in all the programming languages, right? So let us start things with C programming language, and let us see how while loop will be in C. So for example, in C programming language, if you want to define a while loop, within the main function, I have to declare a variable, For example, I want to print our branch name CSC for 5 times. What I have to do? See, I need to write a printf statement here. So printf, I have to write CSC here. So if I want to print this CSC for 5 times over the output screen, I can simply copy and paste the printf statement for 5 times. So if you do so, right, if you do so, so CSC will be printed on the output screen for 5 times, right? If I want to print everything in a new line, I can simply use \n. So by using \n, right, by using \n, so the things will be printed in a new line. Just a second, we have to use \n, right? So this is what we generally do when we want to print something on the output screen for n number of times. In such case, in this program, I want to print CSC for 5 times. So I had written the printf statements for 5 times. What I have to do, if I want to print the same CSC for 10 times. So what I have to do here, I have to write the same printf statement for 10 times. And if I run the code, so the CSC will be printed for 10 times. What I have to do if I want to print CSC for 100 times. So I have to repeat the printf statement for 100 number of times. And now I want to print the CSC over the output screen for 1 crore times. What I have to do? I have to write the printf statement for 1 crore times. So it will increase the source line of code, that is SLOC. That means the program will have certain statements. So if I want to print CSC on the output screen for 1 crore times, I have to write the printf statement for 1 crore times. It will waste my time. It will consume a lot of space in the program, right? So all these difficulties can be overcome by using a concept called as iterative statements or looping statements. So here, what we will do is that I want to print CSC on the output screen for 1 crore times. So what I have to do here is simply, instead of writing printf statement for 100 times or 1 lakh times or 1 crore times, write the printf statement once. And if you can able to execute the same printf statement for 1 lakh times or 1 crore times, the same CSC will be printed over the output screen for 1 lakh times or 1 crore times, right? So what we have to do here is, we have to execute the same statement. If I want to print CSC on the output screen for 100 times, instead of writing the printf statement over the output screen for 100 times, we simply write one printf statement. And if we can able to execute the same printf statement again and again and again and again for 100 times, then CSC will be printed on the output screen for 100 times. So executing the same part of code. So the execution generally in C programming language will start with the main function. So within the main function, each and every statement will be executed in a sequential order if there are no conditional or control statements. So inside the main function, we had the first statement of printf of CSC. So CSC will be printed on the output screen. And if we are able to execute the same printf statement for 100 times, then we can print CSC on the output screen for 100 times. So in order to iterate or in order to loop the same thing, we generally go for the looping statements or iterative statements. So in C programming language, we have 3 iterative statements. So the 3 iterative statements are while, do while, and for loop. right? I think everyone is aware of these looping statements. For example, I have created int I equal to 1, where the value of I is 1, and I have written a while loop. While, what I am going to write is I want to print CSC over the output screen for 5 times. So what I have to do, I less than or equal to 5. So my condition is that I less than or equal to 5, and within the block, right, within the block, each and every time I want to increment the I by 1. So I had used an increment operator, and it will increment the value of I by 1. So now let us see. So C program will start executing from main function. So whenever we compile and execute this program, it start executing with the main function. So inside the main function, each and everything will be executed in sequential order, right? For example, here, the first statement inside the main function is int I equal to 1. So immediately the C compiler is going to create a memory, or already a memory will be there in the computer system. It is going to reserve a memory. So it is going to reserve a memory under the name of I, because the variable is I. And for integer, if you are using a old compilers, it is going to allocate 2 bytes of space for an integer. And if you are using a new compiler, 4 bytes of space will be reserved for the integer. So let us assume that we are using the advanced compiler in C programming language. So 4 bytes of memory space will be reserved under the name of I. And inside that memory location, we had allocated the value of 1. So 1 will be stored inside this I, where the size of this block will be 4 bytes, because we are using the new compiler of C. Now, if the compiler start executing this while, if it sees the while statement, now depending upon this condition, it is going to execute the same loop till the condition fails. So we had taken the condition I less than or equal to 5, where the I value is 1. So the control will enter into the loop. It will print CSC on the output screen for the first time. And after that, the I value got incremented by 1. So already there is some space with the name I. Now this I value will be incremented to by 1, where the previous I value is 1. Now I plus plus means the value will become 2. And again, it will check the condition. 2 less than or equal to 5. Again, it will print CSC on the output screen. I value will become 3. Again, CSC will be printed on the output screen. I value will become 4. Again, CSC will be printed. And I value will become 5. And CSC will be printed on the output screen. So whenever the I value becomes 6, we are checking the condition 6 less than or equal to 5. Because the condition is false, we just come out of this loop. So CSC will be printed on the output screen for 5 times. And simple, if I want to print the same CSC for 500 times, simply I can change the value I less than or equal to 5 to I less than or equal to 500. If I want to print CSC over the output screen for 5,000 times, I can simply add 0. So the benefit of these iterational statements is that if I want to do something for multiple number of times, instead of writing the same statement for multiple number of times, we can simply use these iterational statements, and we can simply execute the same statement for n number of times depending upon the need of the programmer. So by writing simply while I less than or equal to 5,000, we can print CSC over the output screen for 5,000 times. So this is this is how the while loop will be in C programming language. And in Java programming language, so here each and everything will be inside a class, right? Each and everything will be inside a class, and the main method of Java will be public. It is a combination of set of words, public static void main string args, where the main method in C programming language will be simply void main or int main, right? But in Java, it is a combination of different words, right? It is a combination of different keywords, that is public, static, void, main, string, args. Okay, so in C programming language, if you want to print something on the output screen, we just use printf. In Java programming language, we are going to use system.out.println, right? And then See here. So if I want to print the same CSC, if I want to print the same CSC over the output screen for 5 times, what I have to do, if there are no iterational statements supported in Java, then what I have to do here is I need to write the same system.out.println statement for 5 times, right? So if I write the system.out.println statement for 5 times, then CSC will be printed on the output screen for 5 times. So what I have to do, I want to print the CSC for 5,000 times. If I write the same system.out.println statement for 5,000 times, it will waste my space, it will waste my time, right? So now what I have to do, if I want to print the CSC for 5 times without repeating the statement, I need to go for while loop or do while loop or for loop, where while, do while and for are supported in Java also. So here take a while loop, right? Take a while loop, and similar to the C programming language also, here also we have to define a variable with any data type. Let us assume that it is an integer data type, int I equal to 1, and while, if I want to print for 5 times, I less than or equal to 5. So within the while body, see here, similar to C programming language, here also Java programming language also supports the increment operator. See here, almost the logic is same. Here we have defined int I equal to 1, while I less than or equal to 1, print CSC I plus plus. Here also we have declared I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 5, and then system.out.println CSC. So the thing is that in every programming language you have to learn the logic. So if you are perfect with how to solve a problem, or if you had an idea of how to at least minimize that problem, if you had a big problem, it is impossible to solve the problem at once. And if you can minimize that problem, and if you can solve the problem by step, then you will become a great programmer, right? So here what you have to learn is every programming language has its own syntax. C programming language has its own syntax, and Java will have its own syntax. And what you have to learn is, if I want to print something on the output screen for n times, I can simply write one statement which is going to print something on the output screen. In C it is printf, in C++ it is cout, in Java it is system.out.println, in Python it is print. So we have to write the respected statement depending upon the language what we are dealing, right? So if we are able to run that print statement or system.out.println statement or cout statement or printf statement for n number of times, we can simply print that. So here you should have some small idea or good idea on syntax of the programming, and then if you are perfect with the logic, you can write the program in any language, right? So here if we do so, it will print CSC on the output screen for 5 times. You can see the output here. Now in Python, what we have to do in order to print something on the output screen? See here, in Python, if I want to print CSC for 5 times over the output screen, if I write the print CSC, it will be printed for 1 time. And if I write the CSC for 5 times, it will print the CSC over the output screen for 5 times. And now what I have to do, if I want to print the same CSC for 50 times, if I write the print of CSC for 50 times, as we discussed earlier, it will waste my time, it will waste my space in the program, right? What I have to do, if I am able to execute the line number 1, so line number 1 is having the print of CSC. If I am able to execute line number 1 for 50 times, it will print CSC on the output screen for 50 times. So we have to execute this same line for n number of times. So the executing the same part of code again and again is called as iteration. Iteration means executing the same part of code again and again, or we can call it as looping. So we have to go for looping statements or iterational statements in order to print something for n number of times with only single print statement. Okay, so here in Python, there is one thing called as while, similar to C, C++ and Java, there is while, but the syntax is a bit different, right? The while syntax in Python is a bit different. So what we have to do here in C programming language, in order to repeat the loop, we had declared a variable int I equal to 1. We had said that to the compiler, I is an variable which is of integer type where the I value is 1. But in Python, we can simply write I equal to 1, right? Because when we are discussing about the data types in Python, we had studied that if you want to declare an integer variable in Python, simply assign an integer value to that variable. When we write I equal to 1, because the RHS value is of integer type, I value will become I is an int data type. If we write I equal to 1.5, now I is a floating point data type. If we write I equal to something called as good, now I will become a string. So depending upon the RHS value, right, we can assign any value in the RHS. Depending upon the RHS value, the data type of the LHS variable will be decided by the Python compiler. So I equal to 1, and then in Python, as we discussed that, so the while syntax is a bit different. So we have to print the CSC for 5 times. So I am going to take I less than or equal to 5, right? I less than or equal to 5. Here we have to use the colon. So, and as we discussed here, if you observe, we had maintained opening and closed braces for while block. Similarly, here there is no, Python does not support these type of blocks, right? If we want to make it as a block, right, we have to maintain the indentation, which means a tab space. So now print CSC is within the while loop. If you write CSC here, it is not in the while loop, it is outside of the while loop. So if you write print CSC here, it will be inside the while loop. And one more thing, we can't write like I++, because we don't have, Python does not support the increment and decrement operators directly. So we had already seen this one while discussing about operators, right? So Python do not support increment and decrement operators directly, but if you want to increment a value or if you want to decrement a value, what you have to do? You have to use complex assignment operators, right? We had studied that the operators are of different types. Among that, we had studied about arithmetic operators, relational operators, bitwise operators, shift operators, and assignment operators, right? So under the assignment operators, we had studied that equal to, right, addition equal to, subtraction equal to, and then multiplication, division equal to, right? So here, if you want to increment a value, use plus equal to instead of I++ in Python. So here, I plus equal to 1. So how the statement will be treated by the compiler? So the statement will be treated as I equal to I plus 1. So the I value will be incremented by 1 and the updated value will be again stored inside the same variable. So instead of writing I++, so we have I++ is supported in C, Java, C++, in etc., but it is not supported in Python. So if you want to increment the value, so you have to use I plus equal to 1, right? If you want to increment, you have to use I plus equal to 1. Now I value will start from 1 and we are going to print CSC over the output screen for 5 times. So if I run the code, you can see here, it has printed for 5 times. So now let us see this one. What happens in C programming language when we don't increment this value? So when we don't write this increment statement in C, and if you run the code, you can see here, I value is 1 less than or equal to 5, condition is true, it will print CSC. Again, there is no updation of I value, because again the I value will be 1, and again it will print CSC. Again I value is 1, again it will print CSC. So it is going for an infinite loop. If you don't use an increment or decrement operator inside the iterations, it will be an infinite loop. So similarly, here also in Python, if you don't use this one, if you don't use I plus equal to 1, and if you run the code, so the CSC will be printed on the output screen for infinite number of times. Okay, so, and then just a second, and then so use this increment operator, not increment operator, this is assignment operator. Now let us see that I want to print, instead of CSC, I want to print the numbers between 1 to 10. If I want to print the numbers between 1 to 10, right, I have to start here. I want to print the numbers from 1 to 10. So if I want to print the numbers from 1 to 10, generally in Python, we use print, right? Print 1. And then if I want to print 2, print 2, right? And then print 3, 4, 5, 6. If you write like this, and if I want to print 10 numbers, I need to write up to 1 to 10. If I want to print 100 numbers, I have to write print 1, print 2, print 3 up to print 100. If I want to print 1 lakh numbers, I have to write print 1, 2, 3, and then print 1 lakh. So instead of writing like this, if you are familiar with how to use, right, if you are familiar with how to use the iterational statements in Python, then you can able to print any numbers you want by simply writing 3 to 4 lines of code. So in so we want to print the numbers from 1 to 10. So declare a variable and assign value 1, because we want to print the numbers from 1 to 10. So start with 1, I equal to 1, and I am writing a loop while I want to print the numbers from 1 to 10. So I have taken I less than or equal to 10, right? I less than or equal to 10. And instead of printing CSC, I want to print the number, where the number was stored initially, right? The first line of statement got executed. It is going to reserve a space with I, and the value inside I will be 1, right? So, and then the value of I will be incremented to 2, and then the value of I will be incremented to 3, and then the value of I will be incremented to 4, up to the value of I will be incremented to 10. The loop is going to be iterated because we have taken the condition I less than or equal to 10. So the numbers are storing in I. So we have to use, instead of writing something here, we have to use the variable I here. And after writing this one, we have to increment the value of I, right? So now see here, initially the value of I will be 1, and the condition 1 less than or equal to 10. So it is true. Because it is true, it is going to print the value of I, that is 1, and now 1 will become 2. Again we check the condition, 2 less than or equal to 10, condition is true, it is going to print 2, and then 2 will become 3, right? We are going to again check the condition, 2 less than or equal to 10, again the condition is true, it is going to print 2 up to 10. Whenever the value of I is 10, 10 less than or equal to 10, so the condition is again true, so it is going to print 10 on the output screen. After printing 10, the 10 value will become 10 plus I plus 1, I plus equal to 1. Now I equal to 10 plus 1, so I value will become 11, And on 11, if we check the condition 11 less than or equal to 10, the condition is false. So because the condition is false, the program do not print 11, it will just come out of the loop. Okay, so if you run this code, you can see the output. It is going to print the numbers between 1 to 10. And now I want to print the numbers between 1 to 10, right? I want to print the numbers between 1 to 10, not all the numbers, all the even numbers between 1 to 10. What I have to do here? So if we want to call a number as even number, right? We had already written the program in C and in Python also. So that number, for example, our number was stored in I. If we divide this I with 2, right? If we divide this I with 2, right? If we got the remainder 0, then we can say it is an even number, right? So I want to print all the even numbers between 1 to 10. What I have to do? I had already written a loop which is going to print the values from 1 to 10. Inside that loop, if I had written a statement called as if I %2, right? If I %2 equal to 0, if I %2 equal to 0, then I want to print that I. So if I run this code, you can see here, it has printed the numbers between 1 to 10, which are even. So it has printed 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So see here, what I want to do, if I want to print the odd numbers, simply do I %2 not equal to 0. If I do this one, it is going to print 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, or else I can simply use, right? I can simply use, instead of using not equal to, I can simply use I %2 equal to 1. So when we divide any number with 2, there are only two possibilities of remainder, either 1 or 0. If the number is divided by 2, the output will be 0. And if number is not divided by 2, the output will be 1. So in case if the I %2 equal to 1, odd numbers will be printed. If we write I %2 equal to 0, even numbers will be printed on the output screen. So this is how the while loop will be in Python. So it is going to execute some statements in the program, or the statements which are kept in the block of the while loop for number of times, depending upon the condition given. Okay, so here there is one more thing with the while loop. For example, I had written to print the all even numbers, and we can use else statement along with the while loop. We can use this else statement. What this else statement, or when the else statement will be executed in C or in C++ or in Java, if you want to use the else statement, we cannot use this else statement without if. We can use if statement without else in any programming language, but we cannot use else statement without if in C, C++, and Java. But in Python, we can use this else statement without if. We can use this else statement with while loop or with for loop. Now, if you use this else statement with while or for loop, when this else statement is going to be executed? This else statement is going to be executed when the while condition fails. This else statement is going to be executed when for loop condition fails. So if you write here print Python, and if you execute this one, so when the condition is going to be failed, when the value of I became 11, then the condition is going to be failed. Whenever the condition is failed, Python compiler is going to look for the else statement. If the else statement was found in the program, it is going to execute the else statement. If there is no else statement, it is going to close the program. Okay, so right, let us see what will happen if we use this else statement here. And if you run the code, so see here at line number 10, in C programming language, so it is saying that in function main, so inside the main function, there was an error. So the error was at line number 10. And what is the name of the error? Else without a previous if. So the C compiler is suggesting the programmer, you cannot use this else statement without maintaining a if statement previously. So without if, we are not allowed to use else in C. And at the same time, in Java also, if you write else here, and if you compile the code, see here, it is also saying that illegal start of statement, right? Illegal start of statement. And there was an error at line number 13, right? At line number 13, there was an error, else without if. So in C or in C++ or in Java, you are only allowed to use the else statement after the declaration of if. But in Python, there is no need of if in order to declare else in the program. You can use while or you can use for in order to use this else in Python. So when the else is executed, in the sense, when the if condition fails, then compiler is going to look for else. When while condition fails, the compiler is going to look for else. When for condition fails, the compiler is going to look for else. Okay, so this is how the while loop will be in Python, and this is how we can use the else statement in Python. And with this, I'm going to close today's session. So if anybody is having the doubts in today's session, could you please raise your hands? If anybody is having the doubts in today's session, I think today's session is very simple. Yes, we had learned about the while declaration and one or two programs on while, and something called as else in while loop. Right, if anybody is having the doubts, please raise your hands. Okay, so in the next day and tomorrow, we are going to see some more examples on while, and then we will start the for loop, how the for loop is declared in C, and how the for loop is declared in C++ and Java, and how the for loop will be in Python. And on the for loop also, we are going to look at 2 or 3 examples. And after the looking at 2 or 3 examples on for loop, we can start the those statements called as break, continue, and pass statements in Python. Right? So I really thank each and every listener of this video for being here. So we will meet you in the next session. Thank you very much.